Have you ever said something in a moment and immediately wished you could take it back? Or reacted to something small much more strongly than you intended? Maybe something like, a sledgehammer for a fly, and later you wonder, why did I do that? The truth is, it wasn't that moment. It was a moment that you missed just before that. Between what happens and how you respond, there is always a small window, and it is a window that opens up before we act on. And this window opens up for a second or two. At that moment, you still have a choice if you become aware that the window opens up. You can catch yourself in action before you actually show it up to the outside world. But if you miss it, reaction takes over. And once reaction takes over, you're no longer choosing. Hi, I'm Mahalakshmi Sampson. I explore how we can understand ourselves, make conscious choices, and live with clarity to achieve personal excellence. And if this resonates with you, the topics that I discuss here resonates with you, consider subscribing my YouTube channel, Mind Ockler. In every situation, there are two things happening. What is happening outside you and what is happening inside you, and both matters equally. So let me share something I witnessed many years ago as a teenager. Someone went to one of my family member to ask for financial help. The help that was given was not something that could meet this person's requirement. Because the money given was not matching the expectation, in that moment, this person felt very angry. And you know what this person did? This person threw the money on the person who offered help. And in anger, after throwing out the money, that person walked away. The next morning, the person who was actually at the receiving end, who chose to offer help, of course not to the extent that was expected, but whatever that this person could do, right? This person passed away unexpectedly. And that moment where the one who had come seeking help reacted in anger, that moment could never be undone. The misery and the guilt that person carried was for many years. Now, if you look at this particular incident, it was not about the money. It was about that moment, that small window that was missed. And sometimes it is not the big decisions in life that shape everything, but these small moments are the ones that shape everything in our life. And that is why you need something simple, a framework sort of a tool, which you can use in that moment, which can be very handy in that moment, so that you can define what you want to do after that. And that is where care, the tool, comes in. Not later, but in the moment. This care is not the one that I have discussed in another video, that is care outside. What I am going to discuss now, what I am going to teach you now is care in the moment, that is care inside. This tool, care inside, has got 4 steps, which again I am going to discuss now, I am going to teach you now. See, in care here, in care inside, right, the tool, right, if you look at it, stands for check-in. What we need to check in. You need to ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Is that anger, hurt, guilt, shame, fear, whatever it is very important to identify that emotion and name that emotion. But you know what happens most of the time is we are not aware of it and we just react and we think we are acting from our authenticity. But it is not the truth. Actually, we are acting from the emotion that is at its high at that moment. A in care inside stands for acknowledge. Here, when you know that anger is the emotion that is being experienced, it is important, what do you tell yourself? Instead of telling yourself, I am angry, it is very important to say, I am feeling angry. That one shift actually creates a lot of space for you, where immediately you will feel yourself disconnected or distant from the emotion that you are feeling at that moment. And R stands for recognize. It is important again for you to ask yourself or find out, where is this emotion coming from? Is this emotion coming from just in this moment, in this incident, or it is coming from something deeper, from my past? The moment you identify that, then you can move on to E in care, that is express, where you can choose to respond calmly in that situation. If you feel that person is not in a state to listen to you, or it is not going to solve the problem right now, even you don't have the space to address it, you can always pause in that moment and you can come back later. You can also write it to release it. But what is important is you need to express it in a way so that you honor the emotion that you are experiencing at that point of time. And expression is not a reaction, it is a conscious response. When you don't understand what you feel is when actually you react. When you understand it, then you respond. And in that small window, you don't just change your reaction, but actually, what do? You take your power back in that situation, and whatever you do after that, you act from that power. And care works in two ways. In the video that I posted before, the care I discussed is care outside. It helps you to understand what is happening around you, your situations, the stories that you tell yourselves, your patterns, what is the responsibility that you need to own, and what is the role that you are playing at that moment, what is the next step that you can take. And care inside, that which you learned now. This care, this tool helps you to understand what is happening within you. In that moment, it is about knowing your emotions. It's about naming your emotions. It is about understanding that you're feeling it at that moment, and it is not that it is your identity. It is about knowing your reactions, your choices at that moment. And when you understand both, you don't just react to life, but you respond to it consciously. And you know what? When I'm talking about care inside, care outside, even this does not make things complete. There is one more component that you need to bring it in, and that is, right? That is called choice. Because the moment you start using care inside and care outside, it creates awareness to you. And what comes after awareness is also equally important. That is about choice. Only when you use it, you'll be able to see the choice that you can do at that moment. So, the next time something happens, first thing is pause. Use care inside and outside. Stay with yourself and then choose how you respond. If this video has made you pause and reflect, take a moment to like this video, and I'd really like to hear from you. What is something you often react to without realizing why? Share in the comments what you feel, what are your insights. I request you to share it in the comments, and if this might help someone, please do share it with them. Consider doing that. So, pause, care, and choose, so that you make the choice to live consciously. So till we meet in the next video,